What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now today we got our work cut out for us because we're gonna be installing 4 electric cutouts. Yeah, no, that was bad, but that doesn't matter because I got 4 electric cutouts right there ready to go. By far these are the cheapest one I found on eBay. I usually go with a different brand, but because I'm installing 4 of them, so that's 4 times the cost, I had to go a little bit more of a budget. With these ones, they come out to be $60 a piece. So I'm going to go ahead and open them up and see how it goes. Alright, so first things first. I mean, they made it here. The package came out intact, so that's a good thing. Now the brand itself, it's I guess JDM Speed Motors, high quality, genuine auto spare parts. On eBay, it just shows electric cutout, so yeah. Alright, you got your 2 gasket, you got a V-band, got another V-band, got your controller, and looks like the module, your actual cutout, wiring, your Y-pipe, and of course your exit, and random hardware. So what's nice about this particular unit compared to the other ones I found on eBay is it has a separation for your exit right here. So if you wanted to, you could just run it like that and then be able to connect different V-bands if you want to change your exit. So that's kind of neat. Quality wise, I mean, they look just like your average Chinese welded unit. If you look inside there, that's kind of to be expected with anything that you get from eBay. For the unit itself, it actually looks pretty good. It doesn't look like there's going to be any leak in there. Looks like there's a slight mist right there where you could see the light, but other than that, it looks like it could actually work. So let's go open this up. Now based on what I found online, looks like this unit, or this particular unit, you could only go full open or full close. You can't like partially open it, but when I test it, we'll see. Wiring wise, it does have that extension, and then I don't know why electric cutouts always come with this plug. I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me because usually when you get them, it's gonna be hardwired and you're gonna tuck all this wire away and then you're gonna have this thing kind of sticking out. But I guess it's easier to sell that way, and then you could just cut it if you don't want to use a cigarette lighter. So I'm gonna go ahead and assemble this thing. It's pretty straightforward, kind of the same format for every single cutout that I've bought before. Just like that, and it's ready to go. One thing I'm curious about this unit is whether or not it's on the same frequency, because I bought 4 of them and it'd be really annoying to having to press all 4 to open up all of them. I prefer to just press it one time and then all 4 opens. So I'm going to go ahead and open one more and then we'll go to the car and test it out. Oh, might want to open that first. Alright, I'm going to do this one-handed, so bear with me. So cool. See, this is what I mean. It looks like it's pretty straight. Like, I don't see anything major that I need to like work through. I don't need to deburr anything. Yeah. See, that's what I mean. I didn't think you'd be able to partially open or partially close it. It doesn't seem to stop it. Yeah. Yep, it's just either full open or full close. Alright, now the moment of truth, I got that over there. And then I have the other one over here. Gonna go and plug that in the back. Alright, I'm just gonna rest it there, it doesn't really matter. So if I press that one, it's gonna open that one for sure. But hopefully it also opens that one. Ah! Darn, only one. That means the frequency is not the same. Oh, that's not good. Alright, so now I either figure out a way to make all the same frequency. Alright, well that makes kind of sense really, if you think about it. You don't want the same frequency for all the remote anyway. But not for my application, so I either figure out how to do that, or maybe put like a holder or something. I'll just figure that out later. Alright, so back in the garage, mounted the V-band already in the back of the turbo here. I'm gonna start with the very front one because I think it's the most complicated bend. It literally kind of runs into there, so I'll have to go this way first before going up, versus the other one that just kind of bends up. Okay. Now I did find my box of leftover tools from the Vega, so let me see. I am a little bit limited on. Does this thing zoom in? Huh, a little bit. I am limited on my bends here, so let's see. Only 190, and then 3 180s. I prefer to use those because you can direct them a little bit more, but hopefully I can make that somehow work. Okay. And let's see. I guess let's get started. So much to it. So first couple things to start. Won't need that for now. I'll save that for later. That's for later. Where's the other piece? Oh, right. Okay. About to go chop this off. Again, this is stainless steel, I believe. So maybe I can get the coating off and still be able to weld it. Should be able to. Should be fine. I think. Yeah. You know. It is what it is at the end. So gonna start with this one. We'll start cutting that off, then that one, then test fitting, come back, and kind of do that a few times. Alright. Alright guys, so got the pipes cut out, cleaned up and everything. Now I can see this being a little bit of a challenge because the flange, or what is this thing, the V-band clamp, is actually over the actual flange itself, so it doesn't stick out. That's going to be a problem a little bit there. I'll probably end up having to weld it and then grind it down. But yeah, let's see if we can get this tack welded and fitted here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mount these two together, and that way I'll only have to work with this side like that. So let's take a look. Oh, get that out of the way. Alright. So it's pretty flat, as you guys can see here. That looks good. Clearance here looks good, and you could actually rotate it a little bit more, so that's fine. I try to get as close to there as possible, so I have as much clearance here as possible. But what I'll end up probably doing anyway is routing something like that away. But as far as this thing is concerned, I'll probably put a cover here, some sort of heat shield of something. Alright, as you're watching this, you're probably wondering, oh man, he screwed up. Put an electric cutout right there. And there's no more exit for the exhaust when you close it. That's true, except I'm actually planning to go route this one to the bottom, so that will be my regular exhaust with this thing fully closed. So I figured I'll address that before I move forward with this thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it off, and then I'm not sure if I want to do the hood. I'll probably do the hood last after I have everything mounted. Alright, so for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and take that off and lay a little bit more beads so it's a little bit more solid. Alright, so the first one is complete. I still have all the clearance that I want, which is great. None of them basically warped, so that's a good sign. That's a good sign that I did a good job. Sometimes I start welding stuff and then all of a sudden all the clearance goes away and I'm just like, oh crap. Alright, so that is it for that part. I think I have enough time to do the back one. Kind of got started a little bit late on the project today, so maybe I'll do that and then do that maybe tomorrow if I have time. But I think I can get that one done. So I still have basically 1, 2 U-pipes, and I still have the 45 degree right there. Excuse me. Now this was a leftover from earlier. Darn, that's pretty close though. Did I have a smaller bend for this thing? Sorry here. Thinking out loud, thinking out loud. Okay. Alright, I have this one left over from the other piece. Let me see. Maybe. I gotta put on some gloves. Put on some gloves before I cut myself with this stuff. Alright, the bend on this might just be enough that I won't need another bend. So, I can make this work right here. Since that's basically straight up right there. Yep, perfect. So, that was kind of unintentional. Leftover parts. And looks like I might just be able to make it work. So, it's going to be like that anyway. Perfect. So, this piece is going to be saved for that side. Which means I got 3 pieces to make that one and that one. That's good. Alright, at this point, gonna go ahead and finish the rest of the exhaust. It's gonna be the same process as how I made this one. Okay, so I don't want to bore you guys with that information. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and make the 3 exhaust, and then as I'm finishing one, I'll show you guys what's going on. Up to this point, I basically cut up all the flanges. I already cut up all the flanges already, so those are all ready to go like this. The only thing I need to cut is the piping, which is pretty straightforward. I think this is probably the easier part of the exhaust. Alright, midway break, the back one is pretty much done. Also this side, so that looks pretty good. Symmetry wise, it's pretty close. This thing is a little bit more to the right than this one, so this one's closer to the engine. But to me, that's close enough. Now the side view one is pretty symmetrical as well. Now I actually wanted it to be as symmetrical as possible because of the way I want it to be coming out of the hood. So it'll be like 4 exhaust, just kind of breathing out that way. Now as far as height, the back one is a little bit higher. That's because turbo in the back is higher than the front one. But also at the same time, I did want a clearance for the motor here. If they're on the same level, then I have to deal with it running into each other. Let's talk about hood clearancing. Not really sure how I'm gonna do this. So, let's see. I think my hand is gonna get tucked though. Let's see. Alright, so I think I figured out how to do this. What I'm kind of thinking is I'm gonna go ahead and drill a hole here where the X are gonna be, or where the X are at. Drill a hole and then use the hole saw from the top. Well, there's the point of no return. Alright, so that didn't work. So you guys can see it started to burn the paint more than anything else. It's not digging anywhere. So I went back to Harbor Freight and got one for, supposedly, for metal also. Man, cutting a hole on top of the hood is tougher than I anticipated. It's not the cleanest cut. I could probably clean it up a little bit more. It looks like it would work. So let's see how it looks in the bottom. Whew. That was a workout, guys. Ooh boy. Okay. Couple things. I don't know what kind of hole saw people are using to drill this stuff, but it definitely not Harbor Freight, because the one that I got from Harbor Freight is for the one for the metal already. I mean, it's, you know, not, it's probably higher or lower. Well, actually, let's see. It should be higher TPI than what I'm using, but they don't sell anything else. Alright. Too hot in this garage right now. Anyway, as I was saying, next time I think if I ever have to drill another hole saw, or not drill a hole saw, but if I have to drill another hole like this one, especially if it's like a 3-inch, 2-inch, or whatever it might be, I think it's probably time to invest in some real tools, because Harbor Freight ain't cutting it at all. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's pretty smoky in here. It was basically burning the paint before it would actually cut. Couple things to note. It got pretty messy pretty quick, so I'd have to clean that up a little bit more. Let me see here. But the good part, I mean, you guys can see straight shot into the cutout. Oh, that one's under, but into the cutout, so that's a good sign. On some of them, however, like this two right here, what I ended up having to do is, I don't know if I filmed it or not, but I ended up having to use an angle grinder. So what I ended up having to do is find an old used up cutoff wheel, and I just basically did that all the way across until I cut it enough. Then I could use the hole saw, which wasn't very good anyway, but you know, once you got to the harder metal, like the framing, like right here, then it started to work well. That looks darn messy. So what I'm kind of thinking at this point, I'm gonna leave that alone. Not gonna clean it up right now because I'm just gonna make a bigger mess into the engine bay. So I'll have to pull this a different day. That won't be very interesting anyway. So all I'm gonna do there is just take out the bolts, disconnect the hood strut or whatever it's called, and then just, you know, trim it all the way around and make it kind of pretty and not so sharp edges or sharp edge at the end there. Alright guys, that is pretty much it for this episode. I think it's a pretty good stopping point considering that I don't really have a parts for the downpipe anyway. Let me see. What is that? I'm basically waiting for this 1 7/8 B-band, which are apparently pretty hard to get or pretty hard to find or cheap. You know, you can find them expensive everywhere, but not at a good price. So when we return next time, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the up pipe, or I guess I could call it up pipe. Anyway, so next episode I'm gonna go ahead and finish the hood dump. That's what I should call it, the hood dump. And if I get all this little B-band, because I only got one out of the 4 that I ordered, if I get the rest of them, I can probably do the downpipe then. Okay. I'm also expecting, I think the intercooler is gonna be coming in this coming week, so stay tuned for that one as well. Alright, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.